Hi, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel, and today I wanted to talk about our biggest challenge with potatoes, which is how to grow early baking potatoes. If we take like new potatoes, that's not an issue. You can sow those in August and leave them in the compost, and we're still harvesting those now. We'll have new potatoes again in April, no problem. Ordinary potatoes, no problem as well. We're storing our main crop potatoes. We've still got plenty of those in store. We'll have replacements for those in sort of May time. But what to do about baking potatoes? There's a bit of a challenge really, because we'll run out of those in May, but we won't typically have those until mid-August, sort of September time. And that's quite a big time to be without any baking potatoes. So I'm trying to figure out how to bring that date forward. And I've got one kind of hint as to what I could do, because once, a couple of years ago, when we got Jennie's plot for the first time, Jennie and I planted that in, I think it was the 27th of April. And one of the things we planted there were shallots. And then we left, because we planted those so late, because May is, 27th of April is pretty late to plant shallots. They basically grew in hot weather all the way through, and we harvested those early August. And the size of them was great. They were baking potato size. And so it got me thinking that if I could recreate May's growing conditions earlier on in the season, so maybe at the beginning of April, then maybe I could get baking potatoes in July, early July rather than early August. And that would be great, because then that would mean only a couple of months basically without them. And so that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try two varieties. I'm going to try Vivaldi and Charlotte. I'm not going to plant very many, because I'm really only looking for a couple of months supply. So basically what I need to do is I need to create a warm, sunny growing environment for those potatoes in April that's obviously frost free, and basically into May as well, because May can also be pretty chilly. In fact, we have frosts in May as well, probably about till not the middle of May, but at least probably till about 10th, 12th of May, something like that. And then who knows, we could extend that. Now obviously I could grow them in the polytunnel, and that provides the perfect kind of environment. It's like May in the polytunnel right now, probably even like June in the polytunnel at the moment, but the polytunnel space is very valuable to me, and I don't really want to grow a low-lying crop like potatoes in the polytunnel where I've got all this height. I really want to focus on things like beans in the polytunnel. So I'm thinking that I'm going to use one of my really deep coal frames, and those that provide a very rich growing environment. There's a deep layer of compost in them, and there's enough clearance for the potatoes to grow under cover for most of their growing life. And that means I probably could keep the blight off them, because I can keep the rain off them, and I can also insulate them reasonably well, because those coal frames have got a double layer of plastic, which is definitely more insulating than a single layer. I could always lay a bit of fleece down on them, etc., etc. Trouble is, those coal frames have currently got things growing in them, and I don't want to take those out right now. So I'm thinking maybe I could start the potatoes just in ordinary plant pots, probably quite a big plant pot, maybe an 8-inch plant pot, something like that. And let them break surface in those plant pots, probably put it on about, say, 6 inches of growth, and then dig a big hole in the coal frame and plant that plant pot and the top growth underneath the compost, cover it over, and let them carry on growing. And then earth them up a little bit, because obviously I'm looking for big potatoes. So what else could I do? I could also take a few eyes off, so I've only got maybe 2 eyes or something like that on the potatoes, and plant them quite wide spacing. So I'm thinking perhaps, because the coal frames are about 1.2 meters square, maybe 5 potatoes in that 1.2 metre square space, maybe 4 potatoes, because even 4 potatoes, if 4 potatoes yielded me 6 baking potatoes each, that's 24 baking potatoes, and that is 6 to 8 weeks supply, which is all I really need. So I'm really intrigued as to whether anybody's really succeeded in doing this. They're my ideas, and what other alternatives have I got, and what other varieties could I grow other than Charlotte and Vivaldi. Now I've chosen Vivaldi because it won a competition recently as to the best tasting baking potato, and I got some of those, so I thought I'd give that a try. Anyway, my key strategy is basically that a second early, growing in optimum conditions, will grow big enough to deliver a baking potato in a relatively short time window, so between 100 and 120 days. So that's kind of what I'm banking on working. Anyway, give me a bit of feedback. If anybody's done it, I'd be intrigued. If anybody thinks of anything else I could try, I'd be really intrigued and thankful. So with that, thanks for watching this short video, and I'll see you soon.